That moment when the reunion is better than the season. You know, a lot of the times these damn bad, these horrible, let me put it like that. These horrible seasons have the best reunions, okay? So this is the Love and Hip Hop Miami reunion. So we're going to get right on into it. It's like Mona and VH1 said, look, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta finna come through and we got to get rid of Miami, bitch. We got to go on and get Miami the fuck out the way, honey. That's exactly what the fuck that was. Because Love and Hip Hop Atlanta finna get a 2-hour premiere and this shit better be worth it, okay? Because I had to sit through horrible ass seasons of New York and Miami. Atlanta better give me what I need or they done, okay? Point fucking blank. So we're going to start it off with Jessie Who, Amira, and JoJo. Now we talk about their beef. And, you know, JoJo was basically saying how she didn't like how Jessie Woo was coming for Amira. She didn't like the fact that she called her by her first name, which is Joanne. And she felt like she was coming for her mama. Amira was basically saying that, you know, this was all about a talk show that I was trying to do. And I stopped doing this show on social media just because they probably wasn't going to pick it up if it was on social media. So also, Amira started going the fuck off on Jessie Woo about saying what she said about her mama, and I can't lie to you. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of Amira, I must say that she had every motherfucking right to go in on Jessie Woo, to be quite honest. Every motherfucking right. I just feel like that. Like, I hate when people bring other folks' family members into the situation. Like, what the fuck you bringing my peoples into it for? They ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck we got going on. So if you want to have beef with me, you have beef with me, but don't bring my motherfucking family into it. And Amira treated that bitch just like she needed to. She treated the fuck out of that bitch. And Jessie Woo needed it because she has been doing a whole lot. One minute she want to be this badass girl. The next minute she want to be crying on the scene with Trina. Like, you got to pick which one you gonna be, bitch. And you did way too much in this whole damn beef with Amira. And it just came across like you was fucking jealous. So then we go into the situation between Julian. Julian basically managed everybody on Love and Hip Hop Miami. He works with Trina. He works with Pleasure P. He works with Amira. He works with Michelle Pooch. So come to find out, Pooch had her own issue with Julian. And I'm trying to figure out what the fuck she do to have an issue with him. But basically, she's supposed to be a DJ. And she feel like Julian ain't been showing her no type of love. Ain't been spending no time with her or working on her career at all. But Shay said, you know, you had that conversation with Jessie. You never had that conversation with Julian. And Julian's supposed to be your friend, but you didn't have that conversation with him. You had that conversation with Jessie. Then on top of that, you need to give him something to manage. And I'm sitting up like, I was like, Nina, like, ain't that supposed to be your friend? You said, yeah, that's the homie, but I'm going to always tell her the motherfucking truth. And I'm just like, okay, you told her the truth, but you went too far in on TV. Like, if you was going to say all that, you could have said that shit behind the scenes. Like, you basically, you straight up embarrassed your so-called homie on national TV. You basically said, this bitch ain't doing shit. She was involved in a relationship, and that took up all her motherfucking time. Then she had a nail bar that was taking up all her time. She didn't really have time to be no motherfucking DJ. And that's what Shay put out on blast, to be quite honest. That's what she did. So Trina basically said that, you know, I work with Julian. He been a part of my management team for 15 years, but he ain't really been doing nothing for me. And that's when Bobby jumped into the conversation and said, I've been told you need another manager. Julian don't do shit for Trina. All he is running up behind the mirror and all of that bullshit. So then it becomes a whole fight between Bobby and Julian. And Julian was like, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Shut the fuck up. And Bobby's saying, I just got to say this because I feel like Julian is a homophobic bastard. Every time I see him, he don't never speak back to me. He said, well, I don't speak to you because I don't fuck with you. And Bobby's still trying to figure out why he don't fuck with him. Bobby's still trying to get some validation out of the situation. Then he want to use the homophobe card as the way to make him look bad. I'm sorry, but I don't think that Julian is necessarily homophobic. I just think that he don't want to have shit to do with your motherfucking ass, and you just got to get over that shit. You are extra as fuck, and that's just what it is, and you messy as hell, and that's probably why he don't want to have nothing to do with your motherfucking ass, and that's probably why he didn't want to have nothing to do with your ass last season, because you full of shit. All you ever do is get on this motherfucker and start unnecessary bullshit. What the fuck was your point of getting involved in that conversation with Trina and fucking Julian? What the fuck was your fucking point? There was no fucking point, bitch. You did way too much. And I was the main one advocating for your fucking ass all last season. And I see why motherfuckers wasn't fucking with you, because you messy as a motherfucker. Then you want to use the homophobe card. I don't think the main homophobe some folk, he just don't want to fuck with you. And I wouldn't want to fuck with your ass either. You doing too much. And then when Tip is trying to tell you to leave the man alone, he already told you what it is. You want to get mad at Tip for this bullshit. Because she basically telling you what it is. Now you want to accuse her of trying to choose a side. I don't think she's on Julian's side at all. I don't really think she give a fuck about Julian. It's just the fact that why are you seeking validation? The nigga don't fuck with you. And why do you give a fuck that he don't fuck with you? Because if the nigga didn't fuck with me, I wouldn't give a fuck. I don't fuck with him either. What are you saying? I would not give a fuck. So what you mad for? I'm just trying to understand what the fuck you mad for. But okay, Bobby, you want to stay mad, that's your motherfucking business. Point blank. So we get into Bobby getting involved with Clear Vision instead of Trina. And Trina was like, you know, I just feel like it was a better situation for him to be with who he with instead of me being over his career and over the mishaps of his career. So, you know, as far as family is concerned, it's better off for us to be separate in this industry instead of being together, because that could cause a whole nother issue, and we all agree with that. So Pretty Ricky addresses the issues, and Pleasure was basically saying, if motherfuckers don't want to do their part, I don't want to be part of the group. And he was talking about, and Nina was like, well, who are you referring to? And he was like, the person that's not here, and that's Slickum. Slickum never be fucking around. He don't hardly be around for the meetings. He don't show up to filming. So, I mean, at this point, I'm on my last review. I was going in on Pleasure, but shit, I don't blame him. Why the fuck would he want to be around if a motherfucker don't want to do what the fuck they supposed to do? I mean, I'm just saying. So at the end of the day, nigga, I mean, just cut your losses. But, you know, they were saying, well, have you ever thought about just dropping Pleasure from the group? And then everybody was like, well, you know, they have tried to replace Pleasure several times, and they really did. They had this dude named Foreplay that they tried to replace him with, and that shit didn't work. Then they had a dude named Lingerie that they tried to replace Slickum with, and it didn't work. Just like Trick Daddy said, you know, Pretty Ricky is kind of like TLC. You can't really replace the group members, and that's just what it is. And Pretty Ricky doesn't work without everybody, the original 4 members. It just don't work out that way. And then they was talking about Speck and Baby Blue's father and how he didn't show up to the reunion because he feels like everybody's saying he's a deadbeat dad. He wasn't portrayed to be no deadbeat dad. He made himself out to be a deadbeat dad by the shit that he said to fucking Speck. He said he despised him. He said he didn't want to have nothing to do with him. And that was just fucked up. So he made himself look like that. Then on top of that, Pretty Ricky never got paid for shit, but they had all these hit records and never got a dime. That's some low down, dirty, shicey ass shit. And they all feel like, well, because if it wasn't for his money, we never would have been where we are. Fuck all that. Y'all did all that work and then get paid worth a damn? That's some bullshit. Then everybody want to get in on Speck about starting a group page on Facebook. It was 7 million followers, and he made all the money off of it but didn't share. But why the fuck would he share with y'all when he did all the fucking work? Yes, and y'all name is a Pretty Ricky page where he did the work. Nobody else did no work. So why the fuck do y'all feel entitled to get a slice of the pie when y'all didn't do shit? Y'all didn't cook the pie. So what the fuck does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. So Chaotic addresses his case. He said 6 of his charges got dropped, so he only got 2 more. And, you know, he was talking about his PSD, and he said he felt better going to a medical professional than to be sitting around with his friends smoking and drinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they have their own type of therapy. You know, it's better for us to go to therapy instead of getting a drink, smoking, trying to forget it all. And it doesn't help at all. Trust me, I know. So then, you know, while they were saying Trick, how did Trick feel about Joy and Chaotic going out on their date, Trick was like, well, you know, Chaotic don't want that smoke. And Nina was like, smoke with who? And he was like, with that one, talking about Joy. So Joy was basically saying how he's the one that was holding up the fucking divorce and all this stuff, and how she's just trying to get it over with. So, you know, it's like, you know, it is what it is. It's just crazy because, you know, let her go. And he was like, babe, yeah, Joy was like, you know, I gave him the official papers and he's been served, so we're about to get this divorce. He was like, I'm gonna give you these divorce papers so you can leave me alone. She was like, leave you alone? Because it was like she wants the damn divorce, and you want to go in and say, you know, you had 3 other men and I was still giving you money. And then she was like, well, I didn't say nothing about them bitches you was bringing in our house when my name was on the house. So it's basically like they're going in on each other. And I'm just sitting up here like, oh my God, like, this is sad to see. So then, is Veronica a fucking racist? I feel like she is, and everybody on that stage was still making like all types of excuses for her. And then she felt like Amira was the reason why she was being called a racist, and how she felt like Amira should have stood up for her and all of this shit. But you basically treated her like shit last season. Now, like I said, Amira ain't my favorite, but you did treat her like shit. Like, you acted like you was her friend, but you was more of Hollywood friend than you was her friend. And that's just what it is. So why the fuck was she defending you? But then she was like, you know, I would never allow somebody to be called a racist. That's the worst thing that you could be called. And you know, I kind of get Veronica's point of view at the same time. Like, I kind of get Amira's, but I get Veronica's because I was also that person who, whether I fucking fell out with you or not, I'm not gonna sit up there and let nobody lie on you. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know who the fuck I fell out with. So I ain't gonna let nobody sit up here and come to me with a bunch of lies and be like, yeah, he did this and he did that, when I know he didn't do it. No, now I might not fuck with you, but I ain't gonna let nobody lie on you like that. Point blank, period. You know what I mean? So fuck all that. I ain't gonna let nobody do that. But everybody lets Veronica get away with her racism, and I don't know. I just feel like she is, but that's just neither here nor there, honestly. So Trick and Trina, they go to fuck in about this TNT project when we all don't want it, and it's just crazy that they don't understand it. We don't fucking want it. We don't want the album. We don't want it. And, you know, Trina said she killed Trick Daddy on a verse, and that's why he mad. And she just started going in. She started jumping up and screaming and to the top of her damn lungs. I'm like, ever since Trina been on this season, this year, she's just been showing the fuck out. But okay, as long as she not sitting around here being a monotone, boring bitch, I'm fine with that. But it continues next week. So this is my review on the Love and Hip Hop Miami reunion. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. All my social media is at the bottom, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.